Chapter 3 Famous Scene, Trash Apprentices to Trash. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tang San next to him had been looking at Yu Xiaogang ever since he appeared. Yu Xiaogang also smiled at Tang San. After Jack and Tang San parted ways, Jino came over with Feng Yao. Master Soul Master, we are also here to register for the Soul Master Academy. Where is the registration place? Jino lowered his head slightly and asked cautiously. Is today my lucky day? Yu Xiaogang's eyes lit up when he saw that there were still people signing up, and he couldn't help but secretly thought, Feng Yao originally wanted to hold Jian Nuo away from Yu Xiaogang, but the village chief Jian Nuo moved too fast. By his own carelessness, both parties were already face to face. Feng Yao couldn't help but smile bitterly in his heart. According to Yu Xiaogang's urn, after seeing the proof of his martial spirit, he either felt that his martial spirit was a useless martial spirit, or he felt that he was also a twin martial spirit, but no matter what, it was not what Feng Yao wanted to see. Just because Yu Xiaogang's character is too headstrong, he feels that what he decides must be correct. If what he does is not in line with Yu Xiaogang's ideas, then he will definitely be remembered. Oh. Do you want to sign up too? Let me prove my martial spirit. That Yu Xiaogang reached out to Jino and asked for proof of martial arts. Village chief Jino took out Feng Yao's martial arts certificate from his arms and handed it to Yu Xiaogang. Yu Xiaogang started to read it after taking it. After a while, Yu Xiaogang hid the ecstasy in his heart and smiled lightly at Jino. Old man, leave this child to me too. I'll take him to sign up. Jino's face showed joy when he heard this. He lowered his head to look at Feng Yao, who had a stern face and contempt in his eyes. He chuckled and said, Xiao Feng, just follow this soul master in. You have to study hard in the academy, you know. Feng Yao forced an ugly smile on his face and smiled at the village chief Jino. Grandpa village chief, don't worry, I will definitely study hard and become a soul master as soon as possible. A satisfied smile appeared on the face of the village chief Jino. After touching the white hair on Feng Yao's head happily, he turned and left. After Jino left, Feng Yao raised his head and glanced at Yu Xiaogang, who was smiling and excited. In his heart, he wished he could directly arm himself with White Tiger, and then give Yu Xiaogang a flying kick on his unshaven face. Yu Xiaogang was not aware of the slander in Feng Yao's heart. Instead, he smiled and looked at Feng Yao with satisfaction. He has a good character and respects his elders, which is very good. Both of you, let me come over. After saying that, Yu Xiaogang put his hands behind his back, turned around, and walked towards the academy. After Tang San glanced at Feng Yao with some curiosity, he quickly followed him. Tang San was still very curious about Yu Xiaogang. He always had the feeling that Yu Xiaogang had seen through him. It was as if she were standing naked in front of him, without any cover, and all her secrets were completely exposed. Feng Yao shook his head, sighed silently, and focused his eyes on the martial spirit certificate in Yu Xiaogangs hand. He was certain in his heart and followed quickly. After a while, Feng Yao followed Yu Xiao to a place where there were few people. Just when Yu Xiaogang was holding the martial spirit certificate, facing Feng Yao and Tang San, when he was about to speak, Feng Yao took advantage of Yu Xiaogang's relaxation and handed over the martial spirit certificate that belonged to him. Yu Xiaogang pulled it off in his hand. What's wrong? Yu Xiaogang stopped what he was about to say and looked at Feng Yao in surprise. Feng Yaoqiang smiled and said slowly, I can sign up myself, so I won't bother the teacher. After saying that, Feng Yao wanted to leave. When Feng Yao passed by Yu Xiaogang hurriedly grabbed Feng Yao's clothes, with a look of worry on his face. Wait a minute. I have something else to say. Feng Yao naturally knew what Yu Xiaogang wanted to say next. According to the original work, the next step is the plot of Tang San recognizing his father, and he does not want to participate in it. What if they knew that they also knew about Tang San's twin martial souls? And with Tang San's little tolerance, he didn't trust himself and secretly dealt cruel blows to him. Just when Yu Xiaogang thought he had stopped Feng Yao tore off the corner of his clothes that was caught and ran away in a hurry. Yu Xiaogang stared blankly at Feng Yao's leaving figure. Tang San also looked surprised and a little confused. This guy seems to be avoiding this teacher. Thinking like this, Tang San looked at Yu Xiaogang again. Feng Yao, who had already run away, hid in a hidden place where there was no one, and stuck his head out to look at Yu Xiaogang. The two sides were some distance apart, and Feng Yao couldn't hear what they were talking about. however, after a while, Feng Yao saw Tang San suddenly kneeling on his knees in front of Yu Xiaogang, banging his head 3 times, his expression a little solemn, and he didn't know what he said righteously, but for Feng Yao, he naturally knew what was happening in front of him, the famous father recognition scene in the fantasy world, be a teacher for 1 day, and be a father for life, amazing. Waste matches waste, a perfect match. Speaking of trash, Tang San is actually half of it. After all, he has Xiantian, the biggest plug-in in his body, which allows ordinary people to practice soul power, but in terms of talent alone, Tang San was a bit unsatisfactory. Judging from the original work, Tang San only reached the peak of level 29 when he was almost 13 years old. It took him 6 years to learn and practice since he awakened his martial spirit. In these 6 years, in addition to absorbing the additional breakthrough levels of the spirit ring, Tang San only increased his spirit power to 15 levels in these 6 years. It can be said that the soul power improved in 1 year is less than level 3, this is all based on the cultivation technique Xiantian, which shows how poor Tang San's talent is. As for the innate full soul power, Feng Yao felt that it was Tang San who took over the original body of Tang Hao's son and practiced the Xiantian on the original basis, and then he had the innate full soul power, in the original work, Zhu Zhuqing, who possesses the netherworld spirit cat's martial spirit, cultivated to the 27th level with his innate 7th level soul power when he was less than 12 years old. In the past 6 years, in addition to absorbing the additional increase in soul power after the soul ring breakthrough, Zhu Zhuqing increased his soul power to a full 18th level. In this comparison, whether it was hard work or talent, compared to Tang San in this aspect, he was not even worthy of carrying Zhu Zhuqing's shoes. Xiantian is nothing more than that. Of course, Tang San also spent part of his time forging hidden weapons. After watching the drama of recognizing his father before him, Feng Yao asked a passerby teacher and found the registration office where he could sign up. After registering, Feng Yao followed the registration teacher's instructions and walked towards the work-study student dormitory with a brand new school uniform in his arms. Not long after Feng Yao left the registration office, Yu Xiaogang also brought Tang San to the registration office to register for him. Chapter 4 Blushing Xiao Wu, Appearance is Justice. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing that Tang San recognized him as his father, no, as a disciple, Yu Xiaogang's face was now full of smiles. It was as if his martial soul had evolved and his soul power had broken through level 30. At this time, Tang San also had a smile on his face, with one more teacher who could answer his questions, and this teacher also said that he was the #1 in Douluo Continent's theoretical circles. Tang San felt that his good luck was about to come, being accepted as a disciple by such a person. Such a great good thing happened to him. Now, as long as I learn the knowledge about martial arts thoroughly, my own strength will increase rapidly, and I can add Tang Sek's hidden weapons. The future is expected. As a twin martial soul genius, I will definitely be able to act as an absolute powerhouse on this continent in the future. Carry forward your own Tang sect. At this time, Feng Yao had already arrived at the door of the work-study student dormitory. Chisha, Feng Yao knocked on the door. After a few breaths, when no one responded, Feng Yao slowly opened the door. As the door opened, Feng Yao felt a strong wind before he had time to take stock of the situation in the dormitory. Feng Yao looked intently and saw a fist suddenly hitting him in the face. Feng Yao's originally plain face suddenly turned grim. He instantly raised his right hand to directly block the incoming attack. What? Seeing that his attack was blocked, the person let out a light sigh, but just as he was about to continue attacking, Feng Yao had already firmly grasped his fist. He suddenly pulled back, and at the same time, Feng Yao quickly raised his right leg on one side, activated the soul power in his body, and thrust it towards the waist of the person who came. Boom. Following this whip kick, it landed on the waist of the visitor. In an instant, the man was kicked out by Feng Yao and landed hard on the ground with a muffled sound. A loud and somewhat painful scream instantly rang out in the work-study student dormitory. Feng Yao stared coldly ahead, looking at the figure lying on the ground moaning in pain. He ignored it and walked straight into the dormitory. For someone who just made a sneak attack without even saying hello, he already knew that this was an academy. Without making a serious move, it would be fine if it was a normal battle, but it's really annoying if you just knock on the door and you come right over. when the other students in the dormitory saw Feng Yao approaching, they all moved out of the way. "Boss, how are you?" There were two slightly more daring students. He quickly came to the student who fell to the ground with a look of pain on his face and helped him up. They noticed that their boss's waist was visibly red and swollen, and they suddenly took a breath. "Fine." The student who had just taken action slowly walked up to Feng Yao with the support of two younger brothers, with a look of shame on his face, and said slowly, "My name is Wang Sheng, and I am the eldest among the working study students. I just spoke to you. After defeating me, you will be the boss of the work-study students from now on. I apologize to you for the sneak attack on you just now. I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me." Hearing Wang Sheng's apology, Feng Yao's face looked better. "I accept your apology. As for the boss, I'm not interested. I'm here to learn, not to be the boss. This is not allowed. This is the rule for our work-study students. Whoever is the strongest will be the boss of the work-study students." Feng Yao shook his head slightly in silence, and said while opening his package, "My name is Feng Yao, just call me by my name from now on." Feng Yao doesn't want to worry about these miscellaneous things. Besides, there will be a rabbit who likes to be the boss later, so let her be the boss. "This is for you." Feng Yao took out a small packet of medicinal powder from the package, handed it to Wang Sheng, and said slowly, "Your waist hurts, right? Apply it. It can relieve pain and reduce swelling in a short time." Wang Sheng was stunned for a moment, then came back to his senses after a few breaths, and took the powder with a grateful expression. "Thank you, boss." Feng Yao shook his head, indicating that you were welcome, and then began to pick out his bed for the next 6 years. Noticing that there was no one on the bed by the window, Feng Yao raised his lips slightly and walked over slowly. Just as Feng Yao was making the bed, the dormitory door was opened again. Except for Feng Yao, everyone looked towards the door. Even Wang Sheng, who was applying medicine, also turned around with his teeth bared. "This is Qisha." Tang San saw that everyone was looking at him, and after asking a question first, seeing no one answered, he stepped back unsurely and looked at the sign next to the door. After confirming that it was Qi Shi, Tang San looked at the dormitory with a surprised expression. "The atmosphere is a bit weird. Are you a new work-study student?" A student stood up and asked. "That's right." Tang San nodded. After confirming his identity, Wang Sheng kept winking at Feng Yao regardless of his injuries. Feng Yao was speechless when he saw Wang Sheng's eyes almost rolled back. Seeing Feng Yao ignoring him, Wang Sheng was helpless. At this time, a student who didn't know what was going on stood up and explained to Tang San the rules of the dormitory for work-study students. After Tang San heard this, he shook his head slightly. "I'm not interested in boss or anything like that." After saying that, Tang San walked straight towards Feng Yao. The work-study students looked at each other in silence, and finally turned their attention to Feng Yao. "What's the matter?" Feng Yao asked quietly, looking at Tang San standing in front of him. "My name is Tang San. I heard from the teacher that your name is Feng Yao. He wants to see you. Come with me." Tang San introduced himself first, and then stated his purpose. Feng Yao frowned slightly when he heard this, and asked knowingly, "Who is your teacher?" "The one who just left with us is my teacher, known as Master Yu Xiaogang, the #1 person in the world of soul master theory." Tang San said quite proudly. "Not available, no see." Feng Yao had no intention of pleasing this pair of master and disciple. Tang San frowned, showing displeasure, and his eyes gradually became colder. Just when Tang San was about to say something, the dormitory door was opened again. Except for Feng Yao, who knew who it was, everyone looked over again, and Tang San also shifted his gaze from Feng Yao to the door. "I saw a pretty little girl about 6 years old standing at the door. The girl is wearing a pink dress and skirt. She has a pretty face, pink and white skin, and a pair of big watery pink eyes. Her long hair is combed into a scorpion braid and hangs down to her perky buttocks. She is about the same height as Feng Yao. But the pair of exposed jade legs took up half of her figure." The girl opened her big moist pink eyes and looked into the eyes of everyone in the dormitory. "Hello, my name is Xiao Wu. Dancing Wu is a work-study student this year. Is this Qisha?" Everyone nodded blankly. looking like a pig brother. The same was true for Tang San. In his past and present lives, he was almost 40 years old, but he had never seen such a lovely girl. Xiao Wu blinked and jumped into the dormitory. At this time, the student with low emotional intelligence and short-sightedness stood up again and told Xiao Wu about the rules of the dormitory for work-study students. Feng Yao, who was behind everyone, twitched his lips when he saw this. "You are such a fucking talent." Sure enough, after he finished speaking, Feng Yao saw Xiao Wu focusing on him. When Xiao Wu saw Feng Yao's handsome face and special hair color, her eyes lit up. What a handsome human being. It's much better than these crooked melons and split dates. If you have strong strength and talent. Chapter 5 Duel with Xiao Wu, Tiger Roar armed with Jingtang 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hello, my name is Xiao Wu, Dancing Wu, my martial spirit is the little white rabbit. What about you, are you a freshman too? Xiao Wu Lian stepped lightly and walked to Feng Yao. She noticed that Feng Yao was making the bed and said softly. His big pink eyes looked around Feng Yao's body, his nose twitching slightly, as if he was sniffing the scent of Feng Yao's body. When Feng Yao saw Xiao Wu, a flash of surprise flashed in his eyes. This Xiao Wu looks really good, even better than what the anime depicts. Feng Yao, new life. Martial spirit is a superpower lock. After saying that, Feng Yao raised his left wrist and motioned for Xiao Wu to look over. Perhaps because the martial spirit is special, Feng Yao's martial spirit can be displayed outside without consuming soul power, as long as he doesn't use the Tiger Roar weapon. Xiao Wu stretched out her little hand and grabbed Feng Yao's arm, looking curiously at the power lock on Feng Yao's wrist. What a unique martial spirit. I've never seen it before. Haha. Feng Yao smiled awkwardly. Listen to them, you are the boss here. As long as I defeat you, I can become the boss here. Let's have a fight. Saying that, Xiao Wu took 2 steps back, made a starting gesture, and hooked Feng Yao. Seeing this, Feng Yao suppressed his smile, first glared at the talkative student just now, and then responded to Xiao Wu. Okay. After agreeing to Xiao Wu's invitation, Feng Yao looked at the other students and said calmly, all of you, move away. I won't hurt you if I get too close. Everyone who had seen Feng Yao's strength stepped back after hearing this, except Tang San who stood still. He wanted to see what this rude guy who rejected his teacher was capable of. Moreover, this one named Xiao Wu is so cute. Coming soon. Xiao Wu screamed, her straight legs slightly bent, then she suddenly kicked the ground and rushed towards Feng Yao quickly, as expected of a soul beast incarnation. Even though her body now looks like that of a 6-year-old girl, her strength cannot be underestimated. Feng Yao first raised his hand to block Xiao Wu's kick, then gently pushed it aside. Finally, he gently held the long white leg with both hands and pulled it to his side, a set of small combos that flow smoothly. Xiao Wu suddenly felt her body being pushed into Feng Yao's arms uncontrollably. Seeing this, Feng Yao stretched out his hand again. When Xiao Wu saw Feng Yao grabbing her thigh with one hand and lifting it slightly, and holding her waist with the other hand, a blush suddenly appeared on her face. But she was not one to give up easily. With a flick of her head, the long scorpion braid behind her swung with the movement, turning into a long snake and attacking Feng Yao's neck. Feng Yao did not retreat but moved forward, turning his head slightly to the side, and at the same time moved closer to Xiao Wu. He exerted slight force with his hands, and the two of them were close to each other in an instant. Looking at Feng Yao who was so close, Xiao Wu's face instantly turned red as he felt the man's breath. You, let me go. If you don't let me go, Sister Xiao Wu will be rude to you. Xiao Wu was a little embarrassed at this time. She didn't know what happened, but her body suddenly became a little weak. She patted Feng Yao's body with her small hand, trying to push him away. Why do you want to be rude? Feng Yao curled his lips and slowly moved closer to Xiao Wu's cheek. Seeing the handsome face coming closer and closer, Xiao Wu's cheeks were filled with blush and she turned her head away slightly. Let her go. Whoosh! While Feng Yao and Xiao Wu were fighting, a loud shout came from not far away. Feng Yao and Xiao Wu frowned at the same time and turned their heads to look at the source of the sound. I saw Tang San's figure like a ghost, quickly rushing towards Feng Yao, his eyes glowing purple and somewhat fierce. Feng Yao gently let go of Xiao Wu in his arms and blocked her behind him. Xiao Wu was guarded by Feng Yao, and her expression was stunned. Is Feng Yao protecting me? Armed? Feng Yao didn't know what Xiao Wu was thinking, so he looked at Tang San, who rushed over with a somewhat stern look, his body instantly wrapped in silver-white armor. As soon as the tiger-roaring arms appeared, the wave of soul power emitted instantly frightened the charging Tang San to the spot. So hot. Xiao Wu looked at the drastically changed Feng Yao in front of her and blinked her beautiful eyes, full of curiosity and expectation. Is this his martial spirit? Looking at Feng Yao, who suddenly put on the armor, Tang San was a little surprised and hesitant as he stood there, thinking about whether to continue taking action. Xiao Wu and I are fighting, what do you want to do? Feng Yao stared at Tang San and said coldly. Tang San didn't know how to explain it for a moment, as if he thought of something. Tang San's eyes lit up. Xiao Wu has already given up, shouldn't you let her go? How dare you continue to bully a little girl? What kind of ability is a girl? If you have the ability, come and fight me. When Xiao Wu heard what Tang San said, she frowned, stood next to Feng Yao, pointed at Tang San with her little finger, and said dissatisfied, when did I admit defeat? Sister Xiao Wu didn't lose, I was just careless just now. That's all. Let's keep going. As she said that, Xiao Wu turned around and stared straight at Feng Yao's eyes that were covered by blue goggles. Forget it. Feng Yao slowly shook his head and said, girls are for care, not for fighting. I'm not interested in being the boss. You should be the boss of Qixia from now on. After Feng Yao finished speaking, he first glanced at Tang San coldly, then disarmed himself and went on to make his own bed. You are so kind. Xiao Wu said to Feng Yao's back with a look of joy on his face. Judging from the few moves just now, Xiao Wu thought that it would be difficult for her to defeat Feng Yao. The opponent is not only faster, but also powerful, and I can't break free from the opponent's restraints. Feng Yao's eyes twitched slightly when he heard Xiao Wu's words. Okay, have you all heard what Xiao Feng said? Everyone looked at Xiao Wu with their hands on Xiao Man's waist, and said slowly, from now on, I am the boss here, and you will from now on, you will call me Sister Xiao Wu. Do you understand? Got it. Everyone replied in unison. Xiao Wu could compete with Feng Yao, so they naturally didn't dare to offend him. Of course, if any of you are dissatisfied, you can challenge me, Sister Xiao Wu. A strange smile appeared on Xiao Wu's face, frightening some of the students present who had very low soul power levels. Tang San, who was silent at the side, stared at Feng Yao's back, with a gloomy look on his face, and his fists clenched slightly. Xiao Wu naturally noticed Tang San, but for this human who looked ordinary, had pretty good skills, and exuded a weird aura of a mixture of humans and spirit beasts, she decided to ignore it for the time being and slowly observe him later. Just when Xiao Wu was lecturing the younger brothers, there was a knock on the door. Everyone looked in search of the sound. P.S. Please read and vote. Chapter 6 Yu Xiaogang comes to the door. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the door, a middle-aged slovenly uncle wearing a black robe, an unshaven face, and a few inches of hair stood there, holding two sets of quilts in his hands. One set is brand new and one is slightly older. The person coming was none other than Tang San's new father, Yu Xiaogang. Teacher. Tang San's voice of surprise appeared behind Xiao Wu and others, and everyone made way for them. Tang San squeezed out of the crowd, trotted up to Yu Xiaogang, and bowed in salute. Yu Xiaogang nodded happily. Mistress, there's no need to be polite, get up quickly. I see you didn't bring any luggage when you came today. You must not have bedding, right? I have a set here, take it and use it, Yu Xiaogang said as he handed the brand new set of bedding in his hand to Tang San. Tang San took it with both hands, looking a little happy and extremely moved in his heart. The teacher is so kind to me. He knew that he didn't have a bedding and even sent him a bedding. Once a teacher, always a father. I must help the teacher prove that his theory is correct. Teacher, I didn't do the things you asked me to do well. Thinking that he had just asked Feng Yao to see Yu Xiaogang but was rejected, Tang San whispered. Hearing this, the displeasure in Yu Xiaogang's eyes flashed away. He gently touched Tang San's dog head and said with a smile, it's okay, I'll tell him in person. Tang San nodded, feeling even more dissatisfied with Feng Yao. this guy Feng Yao actually rejected me and even asked his elders to visit him personally. He already had a way to die. Feng Yao's white hair was very conspicuous, and Yu Xiaogang immediately spotted Feng Yao behind the crowd, looking calm and indifferent. Yu Xiaogang slowly walked towards Feng Yao, and Feng Yao secretly screamed when he saw this. What a piece of dog-skin plaster! My child, your name is Feng Yao, right? Let's find a quiet place. I have something to talk to you about. Yu Xiaogang said condescendingly, with a confident smile on his face. Feng Yao raised his eyebrows. This master and disciple is really a virtuous person. Master, if you have anything to say, just tell me here. Feng Yao said calmly. Yu Xiaogang frowned slightly and said with a hint of dissatisfaction, it's a very important matter. For the sake of your future, you'd better come with me. Feng Yao, my teacher has come to tell you personally, don't be ignorant of praise. Tang San, who was following Yu Xiaogang, had a hint of coldness in his eyes and looked at Feng Yao with dissatisfaction. Feng Yao sneered when he heard this, it seems that we just met today. Are we familiar with each other? You asked me to go with you just because you asked me. Why? Is there anything you can't say here? Why do these masters and disciples all look so arrogant? It's like everyone else has to listen to him. Besides, Feng Yao naturally knew what kind of medicine Yu Xiaogang was selling in his gourd. The martial soul certificate stated that he was a useless martial soul and had innate full soul power. According to Yu Xiaogang's thinking, he probably had a twin martial soul, but if you take a closer look at Yu Xiaogang's theory of invincibility and his words, you can see that it is all nonsense. Just as Feng Yao and Yu Xiaogang were arguing, there was another knock on the dormitory door. All new work-study students, come here. A teacher greeted at the door. Feng Yao's eyes lit up and he secretly said it was timely rain. He stood up, patted his wrinkled clothes, and walked towards the door. Xiao Wu and Tang San were also accompanied. Seeing Tang San so close to her, Xiao Wu glared at him fiercely, then quickly followed Feng Yao's footsteps. Tang San was originally very happy to have contact with this cute little girl Xiao Wu, but after being glared at, he suddenly felt a little aggrieved. My name is Mo Hen, you can just call me Teacher Mo. You three are the new work-study students this year. Work-study students need to work. From now on, this place will be your cleaning area. If you don't work hard, the college has the right to order you to drop out. After Teacher Mo arranged the work for the three of them, he noticed Yu Xiaogang in front of him and quickly saluted. Master, you are here too. Yu Xiaogang nodded lightly and said nothing. Teacher Mo didn't care either. The Yu Xiaogang in front of him was a friend of the dean, not someone he, an ordinary teacher, could offend. After everything was arranged and Teacher Mo left, Feng Yao said to Yu Xiaogang and Tang San, I still have things to do. Since Master doesn't want to say anything now, I'll leave first. See you later. Wait a moment. Yu Xiaogang grabbed Feng Yao's arm and said slowly, Feng Yao, actually, the most important thing about my visit this time is that I want to accept you as my disciple and teach you how to practice martial arts. As a twin martial soul, you can only become talented under my guidance. As soon as these words came out, everyone present was extremely surprised, especially Tang San and Xiao Wu. Tang San didn't know beforehand what his teacher wanted to do with Feng Yao, but now when he heard his teacher say that Feng Yao was also a twin martial spirit, it suddenly became clear in his heart. And at the same time he still felt a little bit disappointed. Xiao Wu looked at Feng Yao curiously, her pink eyes full of surprise. I didn't expect to have such a human genius next to me. Listening to Yu Xiaogang's words, Feng Yao frowned slightly, glanced at Yu Xiaogang speechlessly, and said lightly, Master, you are wrong, I am not a twin martial spirit, I am just a martial spirit. Yu Xiaogang sneered in his heart when he saw this. It's true that you can't shed tears until you see the coffin. Since you are so unafraid of revealing secrets, you can tell it clearly. Immediately, Yu Xiaogang told Feng Yao what he had said to Tang San before. Listening to Yu Xiaogang's theory of invincibility, Feng Yao shook his head helplessly. I do only have one martial spirit. Believe it or not, I have to buy bedding, so I'm leaving first. After saying that, he turned around and left without giving Yu Xiaogang a chance to stay. Don't leave. Yu Xiaogang looked a little anxious. As for bedding, I have another set here for you to use. Thank you. But no, you should give this quilt to Tang San. Feng Yao looked at it and it was very shabby. It looked like some work-study students' quilts, but they even gave them away. I really don't know what to say. Feng Yao, where are you going? I'll go with you. Seeing that Feng Yao was leaving, Xiao Wu opened her big eyes and hurriedly followed him. Yu Xiaogang looked at Feng Yao's back and hesitated to speak. He was a little dazed. The quilt in his hand suddenly felt a bit redundant. Feng Yao, where are you going? Are you going shopping? Xiao Wu looked at Feng Yao expectantly, with little stars in her eyes. Shopping? That's right. I just want to buy a new set of bedding. Belt? Oh, I don't have one either. Xiao Wu suddenly became anxious when she thought that she didn't have a bedding either. She grabbed Feng Yao's arm and said with a smile, I don't want to be without a quilt at night. Feng Yao, how about buying me a set too? Chapter 7 Tang 3's Little 99. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing that Xiao Wu didn't have a pole, he built a pole by himself to climb up. Feng Yao raised his eyebrows and said, it depends on the situation. I don't have much money. If I have any left over, I can lend it to you. Oh, what are you talking about borrowing? You see so many people. Seeing Xiao Wu's words changed and she looked like she wanted to have sex for nothing, Feng Yao was suddenly speechless. Therefore, this rabbit has lived for tens of thousands of years. Although his strength and intelligence are not very good, he is naturally thick-skinned. Feng Yao, what level is your soul power? Xiao Wu asked with a smile on his face with a hint of curiosity. Feng Yao didn't hide it. If you wanted to know this kind of thing, there are many ways, so he casually said, innate soul power. Not bad, you are worthy of being the one who can tie me up. Xiao Wu said without blushing. Feng Yao turned around when he heard this and rolled his eyes speechlessly. I asked you to do that. Besides, it's obvious that you lost, okay? Sister Xiao Wu, I didn't use my full strength. I am also born with full soul power, and I still have a big move that is useless. I will never lose if I try again. Xiao Wu glared at Feng Yao and said angrily. Feng Yao raised his eyebrows and stopped. Xiao Wu didn't notice for a moment and bumped into Feng Yao's body. Feng Yao slowly turned around and stared at Xiao Wu indifferently. His eyes made Xiao Wu's heart beat rapidly. Xiao Wu was a little at a loss for a moment. What's wrong? Xiao Wu unconsciously grasped the hem of her skirt with her little hands and said weakly. Feng Yao lowered his head and glanced at Xiao Wu's straight pink and white legs, and then said calmly, if you still want to fight me next time, unless you follow my request and wear the clothes I gave you. After saying that, Feng Yao turned around and left quickly, leaving Xiao Wu standing there with a confused look on his face. What are you talking about? Xiao Wu lowered her head and looked at her legs. She didn't know what she thought of. Her cheeks were slightly red and she was a little shy, and she ran towards Feng Yao. Not long after, on a street near the college, Feng Yao and Xiao Wu's follower were walking on the street. Xiao Wu looked at the food stalls around her, and a line of crystal water flowed from the corner of her mouth involuntarily. It's just drooling, but the key point is that when Feng Yao sees Xiao Wu, he looks at him with a burning gaze from time to time. Feng Yao suddenly feels a little big-headed. It's no use looking at me, you have to buy bedding first. Feng Yao turned his head and ignored Xiao Wu's resentful expression. She really knows how to get to know her, and she wanted to pay for it on the first day she met. Although your legs are very moist, it is better for us to keep the water flowing for a long time. Boss, how do you sell this? When he came to a shop selling quilts, Feng Yao pointed to a white quilt and asked. When the boss saw two children coming over, he had a kind smile on his face and said softly, 1 gintama coin is enough for this kind of quilt. 1 silver soul coin. Feng Yao touched the money in his pocket, nodded and said, okay, I'll buy 2. The boss is a loyal person, the price is quite normal, I don't feel like I'm cheating myself, you can buy it. Hey, Feng Yao, wait. Just when Feng Yao was about to pay the bill, Xiao Wu hurriedly reached out to stop him. What's wrong? Feng Yao said with a surprised look. The white one is too monotonous. Do you think we should buy this one? Xiao Wu pointed at a quilt with carrot patterns printed all over it and said with a smile. Brother, your sister has good taste. The quality of that quilt is indeed much better than this one. The boss looked at Xiao Wu approvingly, and then said with a smile, the price is not expensive, just 2 gintama coins. She's not my sister. Feng Yao's eyebrows knitted together for a moment, then he turned to look at Xiao Wu and said softly, Xiao Wu, I don't have enough money to buy 2 quilts like this. Huh? Not enough. Xiao Wu was at a loss for a moment. It was originally the money Feng Yao paid, but if he paid it back, there is a way. Xiao Wu's beautiful eyes suddenly lit up, it's okay to buy one. We can build one together, but when the shop owner saw Feng Yao and Xiao Wu discussing which quilt to buy, he didn't rush to urge them. Instead, he looked at them enthusiastically, so good, this is youth. After a while, Feng Yao and Xiao Wu jointly carried a quilt with carrot patterns printed on it and returned to the academy. After the two returned to the 7th dormitory of the work-study students, Xiao Wu looked at Feng Yao with a smile and said softly, this quilt is so big, we can just put the beds together. There was no one in the dormitory at this time. Feng Yao nodded when he saw that Tang San was not there either. Xiao Wu followed Tang San in the original work, suffered a lifetime of hardships, and died once in the end. It was really pitiful. If possible, it would be better for Xiao Wu to find a chance to return to the Star Do Forest, although it is very likely that Tang Hao has noticed it now and is thinking about how to arrange a sacrifice to Tang San, but according to the original plot, if Xiao Wu intends to go back to the Star Do Forest, with Tang Hao's mind he definitely wouldn't have thought that Xiao Wu would never come back after he went back. Of course, the premise is that Xiao Wu is willing. Soon, Feng Yao and Xiao Wu worked together to put the 2 beds together. Fortunately, there was an empty bed next to Feng Yao's bed, which saved a lot of trouble. It's so beautiful. Xiao Wu looked at the quilts covering both beds and said happily, goo goo. Xiao Wu was just about to try out the newly bought bedding when a sound suddenly came from her lower abdomen. Feng Yao saw Xiao Wu's tender face, which quickly turned extremely red. He held his forehead and said helplessly, let's go. I have some money left, which is enough for our food expenses before school starts. Feng Yao, you are so kind. Xiao Wu looked happy when he heard this, and hugged Feng Yao's arm without letting go. Don't worry, I will treat you to delicious food when I make money. You also owe me a share of the money for the bedding. Remember to pay it back when the time comes. Feng Yao said ruthlessly, ignoring the coquettish Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu immediately covered her mouth when she heard this, not wanting to mention the bedding at all. At night, the moon and stars were sparse. This was the first time in Feng Yao's life that he slept in the same bed with someone. Tang San on the other side looked at Xiao Wu who had climbed onto the bed and was about to sleep with Feng Yao. He gritted his teeth and clenched his fists and said bitterly, Feng Yao, how can you sleep together? Don't you? Do you know the truth about men and women not being intimate? Feng Yao raised his eyebrows when he heard this. It's not that I want to sleep with Xiao Wu, it's Xiao Wu who asked for it. Tang San, what does the matter between Feng Yao and me have to do with you? Go to sleep. Xiao Wu waved his hand, with a look of disgust on his face. Tang San's expression instantly fell, and his eyes looking at Feng Yao became even more sinister. It's all because of this guy that a cute girl like Xiao Wu talks to me like this. Feng Yao, I must make you pay the price. Tang San suddenly remembered that his teacher said today that he would take him to hunt spirit beasts and obtain spirit rings tomorrow. As long as he obtains the soul ring, he can become a real soul master. When the time comes, he can challenge Feng Yao to a duel with dignity. I don't believe he won't agree. With excitement, Tang San sat cross-legged on the bed, closed his eyes and started practicing the Shentian technique. I heard from the teacher that hunting soul beasts is a relatively dangerous thing, so I have to adjust my condition to the best. Ha! Feng Yao, I'm going to bed too. Good night. Seeing that Tang San didn't say anything more, Xiao Wu hit him and rubbed his eyes. Somewhat sleepily, Feng Yao frowned when he heard Xiao Wu's words, how can you sleep at your age? With an innate talent full of soul power, you don't practice well, and you actually spend your time sleeping? P.S. Please read and vote. Click-through rate and follow-up are very important for instant noodles. Please move your fingers and spend some time to help instant noodles. This is related to the life and death of the instant noodles book. Thank you.